Welcome to Rise and Thrive Women, journeying from surviving to thriving after abuse. We're your hosts, Susie and Heather, and we're so glad you're here. If you've experienced the heartache of toxic relationships, you know the feeling of being lost, broken, and unsure of where to turn next. And this show is for you.
We're here to inspire, educate, and empower women like you, no matter where you are on your healing journey. Together, we'll challenge the misconceptions surrounding domestic abuse, explore practical solutions, and listen to incredible survivor stories that remind us all that there is a brighter, better future waiting for you. It's time to rise, thrive, and choose yourself. Let's begin this healing journey together. Today, we are inviting Hillary back. For those of you who keep up with our lives or kind of pop in and out, we had Hillary as a guest speaker back in December of last year. And she's one of our Rise and Thrive ladies. Not only is she one of our Rise and Thrive ladies, but her and I have kind of gotten really close over the last year. And so when we originally invited her, she had just kind of started her life over, moved over 1,000 miles away from home, packed up all of her stuff, and decided to start over in Florida, close to the beaches, where she could kind of explore this healing journey and what it looks like for her. And so we want to invite her back just to kind of get an update on where she is and talk more about progress in life after healing. So
Yay! We're so glad that you're here, Hillary. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us.
Thank you.
Yay. Before we jump into today's episode, though, we always love to highlight our Rise and Thrive Women membership program. Heather, do you want to tell a little bit more about what we've got inside the membership program?
Yeah. So Rise and Thrive Women, we have a free version on Facebook for those who are interested, but we also have an off social media platform community that's just for women, and it's really perfect for those of you who want to just take a break from social media. I know that I did when I was going through my healing journey. I had to just uninstall that app for a while just to focus on myself. So it's there for women who are healing from narcissistic abuse and toxic relationships. And we have materials in there for everybody. If you're still in active abuse or with a toxic partner and trying to work on boundaries or an escape plan, whether you are just trying to figure out who you are and rediscover who you are and building your life after, there is something in there for you. Oh, and lots of content around divorcing a narcissist as well. So if you're in any of those phases, you should come check us out.
Yes. And I don't know if you mentioned this, Heather, but we do bi-monthly virtual support groups in there too. And we offer deep discounts to members on our coaching. It's nearly a 50% discount per session that we offer. And you can check it out for free for 7 days. So you can get in there kind of risk-free and just see what is in there. And if you think it would be beneficial to you, we would love to have you there. We're building the community, but there's already a great group of women inside. Like we mentioned, Hillary's one of our lovely ladies in there. We also do
social hour on Fridays.
Yeah, we do Friday night social hour at least once a month. So that's kind of fun, just to let our hair down and talk about like life and non-traumatic things, usually there. But anyways, check it out. But without further ado, we want to talk about Hillary. And again, we're so glad that you're here today. Last time you shared a really powerful story about leaving an abusive relationship and ultimately choosing yourself. So like Heather said, since it's been some time since we chatted in December, and for those of you that want to go back and listen to that live, you can find it in our live video sections. Just look back to that time period and you'll see Hillary. But we just kind of want to first find out what's changed since we had you on back in December, and what has this season of healing looked like for you since we talked last?
So since we talked in December, I've definitely set up my home and got it all feeling my vibe and feeling safe. And
because you had been in Florida. How long had you been in Florida at that point when we talked to you in December? You were
I
there.
moved into the house that I rented in October. But
Okay,
all my stuff, basically all my stuff was still in New Hampshire, and I went up and got that in January. So I acquired, I had acquired a lot of stuff in between. Like I furnished the house, but none of my like personal stuff. So
meaningful stuff. Yeah.
yes. So I had an apartment up in New Hampshire that I shared with my brother from, since I left in August till April. And so now it's just like, now I'm here and settled, and I filled this house with, plants and all kinds of stuff. Like,
I may or may not have contributed to that.
Yeah.
I just brought a plant to Hillary when we were doing like a moon circle or something, and I had pothos. I have pothos growing out of my ears, and I was just like, I'm gonna take this as like she had just kind of moved into her more permanent rental anyway, and I was like, I'm gonna bring this as a gift, as a housewarming gift, and I don't know. I think I came back a couple weeks later.
That's awesome.
Things got out of hand quickly. Things escalated quickly. But, and now we share and trade, and
That's great.
Given to us and whatever. So plus it gave me something to do, to go wander Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart,
right,
racks looking for plants.
Yes, I love the clearance racks at those places. You can find some great deals.
Yeah. Especially because I work from home, so it's I'm alone, so it's like I need to get out of this house sometimes. So what am I going to do? So wandering around, so just building my house, my home up, and filling it with like memories and love and friends and family and that kind of stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, so doing that, and it's just I'm still in like a silly putty, ooey gooey fluid status right now. So just trying to take it day by day and see how it goes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you asked what this season looked like for me, and I would say gooey, and not in like the gross, like I just stepped in something gooey way, but like more like the gooey center of a chocolate caramel. Like it's good. Worth getting to.
Can we use the butterfly analogy here?
Yeah, definitely a butterfly. Like,
yeah,
the butterfly is goo, but like if it fights against itself when it's trying to form into the butterfly, the caterpillar is like, hell no, we're not changing. And we're like, no, just change. It would be better. And there's definitely a lot of inner battles between who I am as a person, but we'll get to that further on down the road. But like this thing, but like who I am, what I am, where I'm going, what my values and my morals and my that kind of stuff. I did allow those to change when I was with the NARC, and I'm like regain back on those and stand more strong in those. So
that makes total sense, and
which affects everything. So like, making friends and joining things and dating and everything. So.
For sure. Definitely want to talk about that at some point too. So yeah. So if you're the ooey gooey butterfly, like you've gone through that. Now you've kind of envisioned yourself as a butterfly now, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Like,
what's it
called?
Butterfly, right?
Chrysalis.
Chrysalis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a pretty little phoenix tattoo on my calf now. Like
ooh, that's cool.
So that was
what stage, looking back, I know you said you actually watched the live that we did back in December just to kind of revisit where you were at that point. How would you like describe yourself when we talked like almost a year ago?
Full of unsureness, doubt. I still have a lot of doubt, but like doubt in myself now versus like doubt in like, what am I doing? Like you're so far away from home, and will you succeed? And financial pressures were strong. And just, feeling lost, but I knew that I wasn't lost. I was just finding myself but not knowing where the end goals were. So hard. I was still like dabbling in contact with him a little bit, like off and on. And that's gone.
Yeah.
Yes. So
yay!
every once in a while he'll pop up and I'm like, gross.
Yeah.
Like, for no reason.
Bye.
Yeah, because they for whatever, like he's like grasp at straws, and back then I would respond or react or whatever, or I let it emotionally affect me. And now it's like, no, like, the effect you're gonna have is like the opposite of what you're looking for, which has always been, but like now it's even more stronger.
Right. No, that's helpful to know. I think it's such a common place for people to be in. Obviously, after leaving an abusive relationship, and you uprooted yourself, and a lot of people have to do that. They've got to find a new place to live, even if it's still like within the local community, and that those feelings of uncertainty and can I make it? Am I going to be able to survive and like build a life for myself? So I think that's just really inspiring to hear your journey and where you are now. And so many people experience that whole situation after leaving abuse. So that's why we love to highlight your story.
It's compounded with the fact of the matter is that I am empty nest and lurking for my sole purpose. Like, now what's my purpose? Like, my kids are out of my nest, and now what?
Yeah,
like,
right.
So
it can be scary and exciting at the same time. Sure.
She's adopted a lot of plants.
A lot of plants.
I love it.
Yeah, I think
that's awesome.
I do have a question, but before I ask the question, for anyone who's watching, I love that you outlined kind of the reason why we wanted to invite Hillary back on the show, which is because I had no idea that Hillary would go back and watch the episode from December. And I think it's really important for our listeners who are in their healing path to use this as an opportunity to kind of reflect on their own journeys. And I think we all do this, whether it's consciously or not. Along the way, you will look back at a certain point, you will look back at where you were in your life and realize, oh my gosh, I've come so far, or remember the mental state that you were in at the time. And Hillary's lucky enough to be able to go and watch a recording and can kind of pick up on her, I don't know, like she can just see her nervous system when it's activated and when it's not, and different reactions that she had, and can just kind of watch that and realize, oh my gosh, I don't do that anymore. Like, I don't feel that nervousness anymore. And I'm comfortable in my own skin when I talk about this, this thing. And so I just wanted to just point out, it's really great to do that because it's a way of being able to practice mindfulness. It's for people who don't know what that word means, or, grasp the magnitude of what it can do for you in healing, is it helps you become more mindful in your healing. And it helps you celebrate yourself when you look at past versions of yourself and realize the progress that you made. And you don't have to record yourself. Some people do. I mean, it's 2025, so it's like everybody's creating content now, and if you have the ability to do that, that would be great. But even journaling, if you're journaling, looking back on your journals from like 2 years ago to see where you were in that time frame and celebrate how far you've come. Or even evaluate, like, am I still 2 years later and I'm still having the same problem?
Right. Yeah.
So I will stop jabbering about that and ask you the question, which is, looking back since you left, Hillary, what are some of the biggest lessons that you've learned about yourself and about life?
So I had like several different things come up as far as like some family stuff happened, and which prompted me to like dig deeper into like, how did I end up there? Like, how did I justify or stay or accept, or why? And so like went all the way back, like to like looking at childhood stuff and childhood wounds, and it's like, okay, some of this makes sense now. Like I grasped for love because of my abandonment wounds and all that stuff. So definitely and I think that was really important to do, to try to hopefully prevent similar from happening again in the future. Getting an understanding of it, or at least if I know I'm going to have these, quick attachment styles, be more mindful of it.
For sure.
No, you're not, don't be anxiously attached, or don't do this because, you don't have to prove yourself. You don't, so that was a big lesson, is to truly deep dive into the hows and the whys, and healing some of those things that I just kind of packed down inside. And because you pack them down and you forget about them, and then all of a sudden they surface up. It's like, oh shit. Then they surface back up again and again and then again. And I feel like it's a lesson that keeps repeating. And it's like, okay, I'm going to handle it differently this time and see if it goes away.
Right. So, yeah.
And part of that was recognizing just how much toxicity was in my life, as far as friendships and everything. So it's been an issue as I make new friends, or as new connections, and some of little worms come back from, what I thought were friends before. And it's like, oh shit, no, you were my friend. This is so, yeah. I mean, yeah. So it's just looking at the relationships that I had before, and evaluating, and then now choosing how or they'll fall into my life. And so
definitely
clearer boundaries and expectations. And then, lessons.
That's a really big one. A lot of people feel like I love that you say it, because a lot of people feel like they are losing their mind so it's like, okay, my relationship ended, but am I now setting my entire life on fire because of a breakup? You know what I mean? Okay, I'm going through divorce. Why does it feel like I am burning relationships to the ground, or burning bridges, or whatever? But I think it's really important to talk about, because it doesn't mean that you're going crazy, and it doesn't mean that you're a bad person, and it doesn't mean that you're wrong or right. I think it's just really important to understand that, one, your tolerance level after dealing with abuse, your tolerance level for toxicity and conflict, especially if you feel on edge and you haven't done anything, to deserve whatever conflict is coming your way, your tolerance level is at the floor. It's flatlining. So there's that piece of it after leaving abuse. But there's also the learning aspect, which is, I think, a lot of what you're talking about, Hillary, is I've learned about these different abuse tactics and what I will no longer tolerate, but I see these different characteristics and a lot of people around me, and I don't really necessarily want it in my life anymore. And that's good. And I'm using a lot of words to describe it, because I think everybody, every client that I have had goes through that phase. I went through that phase, and I thought I was the problem. I thought I was completely insane.
Or you've heard the term am I the narc? No,
Yes, I asked my therapist that. I was like, just tell me, please just tell me, am I the problem? And so anyways, I love that you say that, because it does highlight growth, but I wanted to just emphasize that it's so normal. And I wanted to normalize it for the audience, because you're not alone. And it's also important to know that healing isn't linear.
Right.
So
no, I remember one time when I was living in New Hampshire, it's probably last July, and I had called a domestic abuse local place and was talking to one of the advocates there, and one of the things she said to me will stick. I don't remember her name. I don't remember anything else except for she said, I want to tell you that healing is not linear. And I'm like, that stuck with me the whole time, because it is not.
No.
And
it's a journey, for
sure.
It's a journey.
It's hike up that mountain, and then you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, oh shit, now I gotta go back down, and your ankles are weak and you're like, oh my Lord, how am I gonna get down? And so,
yeah,
it's not even that you're going down. I mean,
like it's like,
it's like, okay, I've gotten through all of these experiences, and that was like the hardest part of writing my book. Is like, I want this to be a step-by-step guide, but like you can't account for all the experiences and emotions that are going to come up. But anyways, it's like you have all of these experiences, but you have guardrails. Once you get to a certain point in healing, it's like, all right, I know what my values are. I know that where I need to set better boundaries, and I'm no longer going to apologize for not tolerating shit that I don't want to tolerate. And if people want to leave me for that, that's okay. It's not my fault. And so you have like all this knowledge, but then you feel like you're going backwards because you'll have another experience that'll like make you feel like, oh shit, now this one has to go down the assembly line, and we have to figure out what to do with this and where it's going to situate at the end.
Yeah.
And then using those tools that you're trying to create and actually following through with them and listening to your gut that you've like, be like, I'm sorry I ignored you. I'm going to listen to you now. And then discernment and the filters, and am I making this up? Am I being too harsh? Am I too much of a block right now? Or is this really it? And, and then how do you handle that going forward? So it's a fun challenge, I guess.
An exercise in growth for sure.
Yeah, burn calories instead of
right. I know, wouldn't that be great? Yeah. Okay, let's talk a little bit about just that whole like rebuilding of your identity, learning to trust again. I know this was a big part of your journey, and I feel like every survivor I've talked to feels lost coming out of it, feels like they don't know who they are anymore. Struggles with trusting people, especially men if they're considering dating, and if I wanted to talk a little bit about like what did that look like for you? How did you begin rebuilding your identity and that sense of self-worth?
Well, I think it's like going back to like your core, like, there's parts of you that aren't going to die away. Like, this is what I like. This is what I trust. This is what I value. This, especially nowadays, like right now, it's kind of a hot mess out everywhere. Just faking it till you make it almost, like, I think there's a couple times I was like sobbing or like crying. I'm like in the mirror. I'm like, you're badass. You are badass. It's like,
oh,
I am a badass. I am a badass. So like,
she's in there. She's in there. Yes. So reminding yourself. Yeah. I mean, I think that's good. That's what you sometimes you have to do.
Yeah. And just embrace the suck too.
Oh
like,
my God, I love that.
Yeah. So like, embrace the suck, and then highlight like I have on my desk, like I'm not super fluid about doing this, but I have like this little jar of like things that happen, positive things that I collect, and hopefully we'll read at like the end of the year. But there's several months that are missing, but like
I love that idea.
Glimmers and hope and highlight. And then I really try not to like focus on the future, like, this is my future. Like, I gotta be like, I want this now, because my big thing is like, okay, I want it and I want it now. Like, like I don't want, probably part of the reason why I don't like shopping online is because like, no, I want it right now. Like I want it, like I say I want it, I want it now. So just living in the day and trying to live in the day, and which to build a stronger future. And just, like I say, is like, I'm struggling to find my purpose and figure out what my purpose is, and self-worth and all that stuff. So, I am a good person. I'm kind, and just, highlight and talk yourself up, like sell yourself to yourself. And I think that's part of it too, is a huge part of it is that he definitely cut that down out of me. Like, whether it was cooking or creating or the way I washed dishes or the way I did the laundry or the way I did this, like, was never right. Like, I never looked right. I never, my body wasn't right. Everything wasn't right. So like those little wormholes, you got to fill back up, and you can't look to somebody else to do that. You have to do that yourself. And, cause you are like, think about like your strengths and embrace your weaknesses. Like, like,
yeah,
I'm going to talk about like freaking, we changed the battery in our car. Like, we can do the things that are hard. Like,
yeah,
like if we can't do it ourselves.
Scripted, by the way. I didn't know she was gonna say that.
I know, yeah, sorry, but like, no, we can do this. Like, we can figure this out. Like, and it's hard, and it's not.
Hillary was more excited about changing my battery than I was.
We're gonna do this. Like, we got.
It's so satisfying when you can do that kind of stuff.
We were melting.
Pictures of that in our group.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
it was such a hot day, but we're kind of successful. We were 3/4 of the way. We were 98% there, but just celebrating and talking yourself up and faking it till you make it. And and it's hard too, because to not let the loneliness fit in. Like, I'm so lonely. This sucks. Like, and you just got to learn to love yourself first, because and love the time, even if it's just rotting on the couch watching Netflix. Like, it is what it is. Like,
that can feel nice too. It's like kind of learning to be by yourself again and just be comfortable in your own skin and enjoying your own company.
Yeah, I've never been by myself. I went from, growing up in a household with siblings and parents, had a child and moved out with the child and moved in with my ex-husband at the time. And so this is a whole new world for me.
Wow.
Like, new world. So
I'm sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you mentioned you have maybe been dabbling in dating a little bit since we talked to you last. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Like the whole trust piece. How are you tackling that when it comes to just being able to trust men again, and making sure you're going into these situations with strong boundaries, and like how's that experience been?
I dabbled in it. I put my toes in the dating pool.
Okay.
But like every water down here in Florida, something either wants to kill you or eat you or whatever. So it's trying to figure out, you got to trust yourself and listen to yourself. And that's a muscle that I'm trying to flex and grow. But I had some crazy things happen. But I've only went out like maybe 3 different dudes, but like some crazy stuff.
Really?
Because I was in high school, and I met my ex-husband through like, we worked at the grocery store together type of thing. Like, there was none of that.
The online dating world didn't exist.
No, and then I didn't go to college, so like I didn't have that college experience. And we were together till I was 40. Yeah. And then I dated just a smidge and ended up with the Earl. And so I didn't really have much experience there. And then, the social medias and all that stuff tells you what a nightmare it is. And then that's what you believe. And that's what you see. So it's not super fun, but I'm not really putting a lot of effort and energy into it right now.
Yeah.
So like I tried meetings. I met somebody through like in the wild, and and in the wild, and like the first time that like I felt like this, no, like you disrespected me. It was like you're cut off to me, like you're dead to me.
Yeah, right.
Just not accepting even the smallest little bits. I'm like this. I actually told him, like, this might seem juvenile, but like I'm not accepting any of it like anymore.
Good. Yeah. Like you said, it's about trusting yourself and sometimes when I'm working with clients, I'll actually have them kind of write down their list of red flags or deal breakers and just get like super crystal clear on what do they want, what do they feel like they deserve in a relationship, and what are those things they absolutely won't tolerate, so that it's like written down, they can refer back to it and like keep those boundaries strong. So I think that's everyone's biggest fear, is getting into another relationship like that when you've survived something that's so awful.
And then I had like my first lesson in rejection. I'm like, now I'm like, you're rejecting me. So like, no,
you're lost.
You're lost. So, but at the time it was not so clear. So
yeah,
first lesson in rejection, and yeah, just trying different things. Maybe we'll see.
Enjoying your life. I feel like that's, when you can find things that make you happy and things you like to do, I feel like that's when you're most likely to meet somebody that you're gonna be a good fit, where you'll be a good fit together, because you're out there doing the things you love. And like that's when you can draw in that energy, from somebody else. But
hopeful, manifesting the crap out of it. We'll see what happens. So
keep enjoying your life in the meantime.
Trying and fixing and continue to work on myself and fixing the things. And
for sure. I love it.
So for anybody who is interested, Hillary, what are some healing practices, tools, or routines that have been most helpful for you?
Journaling, meditating, trying to get back into like being creative, which is definitely a block for me. Because like, I shouldn't let it affect me anymore, but it does. That like he put that in there, that like the stuff that I was doing was just, it was negative. And
are you talking about your crafting stuff?
Yeah. So trying to break through those blocks with that, and doing little projects to, I don't know, collecting the crap to do this stuff is half the fun, I guess. And then I get the crap and I'm like, okay, we'll put that aside and we'll move on to something else now. And just following through. So I'm signed up for a watercolor class to try to get back into that.
Cool.
Took a pottery little class. That was fun. But so creating, healing, I just went back to going to yoga more routinely, and that's nice and beautiful.
Yeah, I love yoga.
Yes. And just trying to figure out like spirituality, that kind of stuff. And then finding friends, and there's like different levels of friends too. I think there's like acquaintances, and then there's friends that you deal with it differently with. And then there's like, I'm lucky to have a bestie. So like, just that's definitely healing and
building that support system. Yeah, so, it's huge.
And then I think definitely too, like once you feel settled too, like I definitely felt untethered or unsettled, and that's helpful.
Yeah.
And then like I think I took a selfie this week for the group, is every Sunday I like to go walk the beach and just talk and listen to trashy music and look for shells, and I
love it.
Routine, some little bit of routine.
Yeah.
I know that we didn't have this question planned, but I'm curious to know your life now, like these tools that you're collecting for your well-being and your healing. I'm curious to know, like, what did your life look like before? Did you have those tools? Like, how did you cope with your emotions and feelings and relationships and, your past life? How does it differ? How does what you do today differ from the past? Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but
I'm looking at thinking back about two different relationships. When I was married, that wasn't abusive, but it was lonely. Like I was super engaged with my children. Like I avoided things by being busy and being active, and being busy and active in things that weren't fulfilling, or spending time with people that I thought were genuine connections, but they weren't. So kind of like time wasted. But then like I would bottle stuff up and then be like, ah! It's like, so trying to avoid the bottle up and ah. And it got to a point too where I was just like reactive, responding. And then, so what was the question again? Like, how do you?
No, that's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like throw you off. Because the reason I was asking is the answer for me is those tools didn't exist for me.
I didn't have those tools.
And so I think it's just, I'd like to talk about it because not everybody understands the benefit of these tools, which is basically being more mindful about how you feel in the present moment so that you can cope with it in a better way to lead to a more fulfilling and happy, like I am satisfied with my life. One day I'm going to wake up and realize that because I have this new knowledge and I've, acquired all of these healing tools, I know that no matter what hits me that day, because we all know that life is chaotic and relationships can go, sideways at any given time. So it's just that I didn't have knowledge on these different practices to help keep me mindful. And that's why I was asking is what, like comparative, like the tools that you use today, how does it differ to your previous life, like before you started down this healing path? So,
well, I use my voice differently, that's for sure. And had no boundaries. And in fact, like I would people please and at my own expense. And I didn't have any tools, but so.
Yeah.
I had one. I'd boil it up, I'd lose my mind, and then I'd cut people off.
Yeah, basically it. Like I don't want to sound like I'm
unhealthy.
I would
I was a big bottler. Yeah, that definitely resonates. So
until like with the narc, I would bottle stuff up to the point where it would physically affect me. Like like I would drink, I would not drink like a lot, but like I have a drink a night or whatever, or other poor coping mechanisms. It would talk about, I think, tapping, like I'd find myself like tapping or I'd rub my hands through my hair because like I just didn't know what else to do. I was like, I'd rub my hair, clench my teeth, I'd have a headache and like jaw pain, and because I couldn't react. Like with my ex-husband, I'd be like, stop. Unfold your socks before you put them in the washer. Like, like I could say those things with it, like, and that's very trivial, but like, but even trivial things like that I couldn't express before. So,
right. Yeah.
But now I'd be like, peace, I'm out. Like, like I wish, so finding the time, taking the time for myself.
Definitely. So we call this episode Life After Abuse, Choosing Yourself Again and Again. So we want to spend a little bit of time talking about choosing yourself and what that means. I think I don't know, when you hear the phrase, I'm going to choose me, like it sounds like it's like a one time, I'm doing this, I've made a decision, I'm choosing myself. But in reality, it's really a commitment that you have to like reinforce with yourself on a daily basis in a lot of cases. So I'm just curious, how have you continued to choose yourself again and again now in this recovery from abuse, and whether it's a big way or a small way? What are some things that you've noticed that you've done?
Saying no to things that really don't align with me, cutting people out differently, like, just letting things fizzle out, and then, or standing ground to my own inner voice and my own truth and values. Like that's a big one to like, you can feel that way, but I'm not going to feel that way. So choosing myself and just like I think about like just putting like harsh things like, I'm not going to accept this and this is not for me. And I talk interactions with people and just end the conversation. Then we'll come back to it another time. Like those are big things they might sound small, but like, be like, okay, no, I'm going to speak up for, these are my feelings. I have feelings too. And I'm not going to tread all over them anymore. So
I like that last one. Non-reactive. It's like, I'm going to sit with this for a minute. I'm not okay, but not reacting in the moment and giving it time. That can change so many different things in your life.
Oh yeah, before I'd be like, bloop, like even like text messages like, like no, I'm gonna process this. I actually find myself saying, I'm gonna process this. I need to process this. Like I'm pondering this. I'm processing this. Like, and
look at you go, Hillary!
I know, that's so amazing. I'm gonna start using
bottling
that
it down and like compressing it. Is be like, no, I'm gonna process this, and then we'll revisit. And if you're worth it to me, then we'll talk about it. If you're not, then
bye.
Be prepared to be cut out. So like, but then I've had some lessons in that too, because like I'm like, okay, this is not for me anymore. Like this does not line up with how I feel or what I think. If this person's doing X to this person, then they're going to do X to me too eventually. And so I'd be like, I'm just going to let this fizzle out and let this cut out. But they kept coming back, and I don't want to be a mean person. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be like, this is why.
Holding boundaries isn't mean.
Yeah, but when they stop, well, like when they're demanding an answer, it's like, how do I answer this? Like, and it actually came like 3-4 times, and I'm like, how do I respond to this? Like, and without hurting that person's feelings, without going against how I feel about it, without how do I want this in my life? And I mean, this sounds so silly. Like it sounds so silly, but it's true. Like it's without having the guilt, without feeling, whatever, and just standing true to myself. And so it kept coming up like several different ways, and we'll see if it sticks this time. But
little tests from the universe, maybe.
The damn universe is talking to me like, how are you handling this now? Like, like what are you going to do now? And now that's coming up even again. Like, so you feel this way about this situation. Your gut is saying X, Y, Z. You've seen this because I'm a Scorpio, so like we dig deep into like we want to know the deep dark truth. And you're seeing these little deep dark truth signs. You know it, but you're hoping. But you don't, just like dating, you don't date for potential. Are you involved in the potential of this, or are you going to go off of what you're seeing? And I want to hold on to the potential, and I want to believe in this. But I just got to figure out the discernment. What's that fancy word Heather says? The discernment. Yeah, like, is that how you feel? Is that fact? Is it like, what is this? So, so we'll see. Yeah. And,
good stuff.
Speaking my truth, and I still feel guilty after speaking my truth. So sometimes, like, just so
you need to process that.
Yeah, I think we've been conditioned as women too. I mean, there's a bigger, I don't know, story to a lot of that. I think that's within us as women, just like that fear of using our voice and speaking up. And so it takes time to get comfortable with that for sure. I'm not comfortable with it a lot of the times either, but it's just having that awareness too. Which sounds like it's been a huge part of your journey.
I know that we had a couple of other questions, but I think we're running out of time. So I think I'm just going to ask the more important question that we have here, Hillary, and that is for women who are listening that are still, in the thick of their abuse and feel stuck, what message would you want them to hear right now?
That you're stronger than you think you are. It takes so much strength and energy and effort and emotion and all the stuff to stay. And imagine if you took all that strength and emotion and energy into being safe and loving yourself and caring for yourself and just doing what's right for you versus what's right for them. And you are stronger than you think you are, and you're not alone, and you can do it. It's even if you don't know how to do it, just pull the plug. Just do it. Go big or go home. You'll figure it out. The dust will settle. So, and then go no contact immediately. Go no contact if you can, because that's a gross.
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because it just keeps you in there.
Right. Looking back, is that something that you can see clearly now that it slowed your healing process?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I left in February. After he assaulted me and damn near killed me. And I continued to talk to him until August or July. And I had myself talked into almost going back to him. We were trying to fix things, and he was healing and blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And then the universe gave me a gift of Deanna, and it was like, no. Mm-hmm. No, he's with this person and the whole time. And it's like, but wait a minute, no, because if I had gone no contact, I would have been like, moved on. I would have had those 6 months where I was like actually working on myself versus thinking I was healing for him, because what happened in our relationship, and could it progress after? No. So I wish I'd done no contact.
Such good advice.
And so many blessings, so many gifts, so many things to be grateful for. And
for sure. I love what you said about, what if you took all the energy that you're using right now in this toxic relationship and used it on yourself, and to love yourself, and to make the leap and leave. That's like, so if anyone takes anything away from this episode, I think that is like so good.
And Heather said it in my other live, is that women stay. I know it's shitty here, and I know this shit, but I don't know what's out there. Like, it could be shitty out there, but it's not going to be. Like, Susie's frozen. It's going to be a struggle, but it's so much. You're writing your own story. You're writing your own path. And
I said that?
Yeah, you said something about like, I know it's shitty here, but I can't remember the verbatim, but like, I know it's shitty here, and this sucks, and it's so draining. Like, you have to have like little glimmers or little parts where you're like, this, what am I doing? Because I used to, as much as I used to look in the mirror and say like, you're a badass, like through tears, I looked in the mirror many, many times and said, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And I said this way too many times to myself. So I'm assuming others have had those times where like, what am I doing? Like, why am I doing this? And they're not going to change, and it's not your fault. So take that strength, because it's exhausting. Yeah. To dance around them and to appease them and all that other crap, and
lose yourself in the meantime. Right. Yeah.
Reverse that energy back into yourself.
Yeah, because you deserve so much better. Like, you deserve so much better.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
I love that.
Yes.
All right. Do we have any questions for Hillary? I haven't even looked over.
I haven't seen any come through on my end. Maybe check your Instagram and make sure before we sign off.
Well, we have a lot of people on Instagram. No one asked any questions. There are a lot of people that tuned in.
Well, you can always, if you're watching the replay, drop your questions for Hillary in the comments, or for Heather and I, or for all of us, whatever you want to do. We'd love to hear from you guys and answer your questions. So feel free to drop them in.
All right. Well, thank you all for joining us on this episode of Rise and Thrive Women. We hope today's conversation has inspired you to take charge of your healing journey, whether it's new perspective, renewed hope, or the courage to move forward. It is something worth celebrating.
And remember, your story is still unfolding, and your past does not define you. Within you lies strength, power, and limitless potential. So embrace it. Trust and follow your intuition with courage. Be bold, be brave, and always trust yourself. Until we meet again, take care, rise above, and thrive. You've got this.
Bye.
Thank you, Hillary. Bye, everybody.
I'm not sure.